average, fire claimed 9 lives every day. In 2015, home structure fires caused 78% of the civilian fire deaths, 71% of the civilian fire injuries. Cooking is the leading cause of home fires and home fire injuries and is tied for the second leading cause of home fire deaths. More than half of all cooking fires injuries occurred when people try to fight the fire themselves.
Kitchen grease fires are one of the most common cooking. A lot of people will start cooking something on the stove and then the phone rings or somebody knocks on the door, or they get distracted and they come back and they see the grease on fire and the kitchen cabinets and the microwave are starting to burn. First instinct is, hey, I can pick this up, I can put it in the sink, or I'm going to dump a cup of water on it. And what happens and what people don't realize is that the fire grows exponentially when you dump water on it, and then you end up burning yourself and catching more of the house on fire. So if there's a kitchen fire and you're able to, in a controlled way, put the fire out, is to simply slide a pan or something over top of the fire. As the fire grows, the unburned fuel goes to the top of the ceiling and starts to spread out. And as it spreads out, it starts to consume all the oxygen in the room. So the fire actually starts to bank down, and as it does, it starts to superheat the unburned item. So in a room like this, if the fire's in the ceiling, as it starts to come down, it's going to start off-gassing, and the table will start to smoke, and the furniture will start to smoke, and then the computer will start to smoke until it reaches ignition temperature, and then the whole room is fully engulfed. That can take 2 minutes depending on the fuel load, and we've done tests with that, or it can take more than several minutes, but once it reaches that ignition temperature, it's unsustainable for any life inside. It's a pretty scary event to see. If there's a flash fire in a dormitory or a student housing apartment or whatever, it's my recommendation that students, if they can put it out, small fire extinguishers put out small fires, but if there's any type of, where the fire has grown, is to get out of the house as soon as possible and make sure that roommates and other people are out of the house. A fire spreads pretty uniquely and pretty fast. A good rule of thumb is a fire doubles in size every 30 to 60 seconds. If somebody's in a house or an apartment or a dorm room and they notice a fire, time is of the essence, because again, fire spreads very rapidly. Smoke starts to bank down increasingly fast. So really you have minutes to get out. Safety tips if there's smoke in the house is, the good air is at the bottom. So if you wake up and your room is on fire, or you know there's a fire outside of your bedroom, get down low where the good air is and try to get out. And make sure you have a fire extinguisher and the smoke detectors are working, because in my line of work, smoke detectors absolutely, positively save lives.
Usually on average it takes about 3 to 4 minutes for the Radford Fire Department to arrive on scene to a fire alarm or a fire on the campus of the university. The easiest way to describe how to operate a fire extinguisher is use the PASS acronym. Pull the pin, aim the nozzle, squeeze the trigger, and do a sweeping motion with the nozzle after you squeeze it down. If we do the fire prevention, that gives you, your tools in your toolbox to use when something does go wrong. If you have a fire on the stove or a trash can or something like that, you can tell yourself, hey, is this big enough for me to leave, or is it small enough for me to fight? Smoke detector replacement for the batteries and stuff is typically, we try to do that with the change of season and the change of clocks. You set your clock back and spring forward. We always try to tell people, to change your batteries in. You need to check your smoke alarm at least once a month though, just to make sure it's operating properly.